And hello, everyone. It's Fred Staub and Les Jackson with you. We are here again for another edition of Cruise Control Live. We're glad you're along with us. And Les, we've got a lot going on here. Last night, the new Lexus NX in a late night reveal was brought out, and take a look a little bit at this NX. It's going to have a plug-in hybrid version. It's going to have a regular hybrid version and a gas version. And, you know, I think they've finally done away with the touchpad in the Lexus models, so that will be good. We'll talk about that a little bit. And then we're also going to talk about the Nissan Pathfinder, which will have some pricing information. So if someone's ready to go out and buy, they can check out the Nissan Pathfinder. We'll have.
I think it's safe to say it won't be cheaper.
No, I don't think they. I don't think they are going to do that. And we're going to talk tech. It's an interesting story. You and I talked about OnStar for a long time. The great service.
Many years.
Yeah, that GM has always had for the longest time for GM buyers. And sometimes they would rebrand it for Mercedes and I believe Lexus as well. But now anyone with a smartphone will be able to get the OnStar service. We'll talk about that. That's pretty cool. And you're going to have an at-the-wheel review, aren't you?
Yes, I'm going to review the Toyota Supra, which is an interesting car. It's kind of what you think it is and not what you think it is.
Oh, that's interesting. So what did you think it was?
Well, a lot of people think it's a BMW, which, you know, it's built on the BMW Z4 line, but it doesn't feel anything like a BMW.
Okay. So there you have it, and it looks quite...
It looks a lot like that. My color was a little orangier. But otherwise identical.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that. And then later on, we're going to talk about this vehicle, the Ford Maverick, which is the new entry-level vehicle for Ford. It is a pickup truck. It's a pickup truck for people who thought they might not want or need a pickup truck. So we're going to hear from Klaus Paulo de Milo, the Maverick Vehicle Engineering Manager, and he's going to be our guest later on. And
boy, they must be taking orders faster than they can write them.
Yeah, it's under $20,000, and that's a hybrid model.
It's incredible. I mean, I almost would buy one myself, and I don't need a truck.
Yeah, and the idea is, I guess, that that's how they're marketing it. The truck you thought you didn't realize you needed. But it's so interesting that that, you know, in the old days they didn't want to build small trucks because they thought it would cut into the F-150. But now that's no longer a problem. So we'll talk about that.
But can they build them? Period.
You mean can they build them with chips, and will they have
right
chips?
Now? Yeah. It's a mess.
Another interesting story, Silverado, they're just building it without start-stop now just to get them out the door, and that's it. You will not get start-stop. They're just going to give you $50 because you won't get start-stop.
Well, you know, I don't know, but I'm sure the same case with you. Almost everyone I meet that has start-stop doesn't like it.
Or hits the button to deactivate it. I wonder if they'll have the deactivation buttons in there yet, you know, for all of that. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll be right back with Cruise Control.
This is Cruise Control.
Control.
Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staub and Les Jackson.
Control.
Everything you need to know about new and used cars.
Control.
Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air.
Control.
Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin
Control.
because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
That's right. It is about to begin your ride around the automotive industry. Hello and welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staub. The other voice you're about to hear is none other than Les Jackson. Hey, Les, how are you doing today?
It's listen. If it was any better, we would have to pay people.
That could get expensive because I think we've got a lot of listeners here. So
it could, but the auto world just when we think it's going to be a quiet week, it isn't.
No, it's not quiet at all, and the onslaught of reveals and new models and updated models continues. Matter of fact, 11:30 at night Eastern Time. Last night, Lexus revealed its brand new NX crossover. It's available as a hybrid and a plug-in hybrid. We're going to have the details. Imagine that, 11:30 at night, Les.
Yes, I was asleep because, I need lots of sleep for this beauty. And but you managed to pick it up, and of course, I have the information. And we've just received pricing on the Jeep Grand Cherokee L and the Nissan Pathfinder.
Yep.
So we can give those numbers.
Yeah, and they're kind of big numbers. But,
biggish numbers.
How many people have you talked to that have gone to buy a vehicle and they said, wow, I didn't realize vehicles cost that much nowadays?
Everyone. I mean, everybody who buys something goes, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll talk about that and more on Cruise Control. Plus, Chevy removes features from the Silverado. We'll tell you why. A little bit of decontenting could have something to do with not being able to get the parts, right?
It has a lot to do with that, and it's kind of an amusing story. It's been 10 years since Saturn stopped being produced. Yet their prices are up 26%.
Wow, 26%.
I find this hard to believe.
Yeah, it's it's kind of interesting. We'll talk about that. And talking tech. Now, anyone with a new car or truck of any brand can get GM's OnStar as long as you got a smartphone. That's a good development, isn't it?
That's cool. That's really cool. It's a great service. And I am going to review the 2021 and 2022 Toyota Supra sports car. Of course, everybody looked at me, especially the women, while I was driving it, because they were smiling. I would like to think they were smiling at my handsome image. I think they were smiling because they were going, who's the grandfather driving his granddaughter's car?
Oh boy. Well, we'll have all that and more when we come back on Cruise Control. Stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
Hey, welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Les, he's Fred.
Mm-hmm.
And last night, one of us, I won't say which one, was up late watching a virtual reveal of the new Lexus NX, the 2022 version.
That's right. That would be
And
me.
one of us was resting comfortably.
Well, I was resting comfortably, too, and watching the reveal. Yes, that's right. There is a brand new NX, and there's a lot to talk about, actually, from the folks at Lexus. They revealed it late last night, 11:30 Eastern Time, and that is pretty neat, what they've done. There's a number of firsts. It's all new for 22. I should be in marketing, shouldn't I? All new for 22. And then it comes with the optional 14-inch touchscreen. I believe the standard one is almost a 10-inch touchscreen. The big thing for me is this vehicle, remember, used to have that touchpad. I had an NX not that long ago.
That's right.
And we always thought it was a little bit outdated. Well, it has been changed, and it is now updated to a touchscreen. Some of the big news around this vehicle is what they call the NX Driver Center Cockpit, which has been redesigned to focus on the vehicle's driver. There's an optional 10-inch heads-up display, which is a first for the NX, and that 9.8-inch touchscreen. And then there's the optional touchscreen. You know what they put on this dash, Les, that I like a lot? And it is not high-tech, but they put on a tuning knob and a volume knob. Don't you like that when they have those?
I think manufacturers are finally realizing that we have opposable thumbs.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I think they
I want a tuning knob and a volume knob. I don't want a haptic display. I don't want slide switches and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with
So
you.
there.
Let's talk a little bit about this vehicle's performance, and it has a lot of options as far as what you can get in the drivetrain. The NX 350 comes with a 2.4-liter turbocharged engine, 275 horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 6.8, which is a half second quicker than the previous model. And in addition to that, you can get the NX 450H and 450H Plus. The plug-in hybrid version of this now gets a 36-mile range, electric only, with its high-capacity lithium-ion battery. So that is great, and you can get a regular 350H hybrid, which gives a combined horsepower of 239 over the current model, which is a 20% increase over the current model. Nice to see that you can get hybrids and plug-in hybrids of this large crossover, right?
Well, it is. I wonder how many people will choose the plug-in.
I don't know, but I think it's a real neat type of thing to have, that 36 miles of electric range.
Yeah.
I mean, for most people, that would be about a week's worth of errands and driving.
Yeah, driving the kids to school in it.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty good news, and we will certainly have more discussion about this vehicle. Of course, it's got full safety capability, risk avoidance, emergency steer assist, left lane oncoming vehicle detection and braking, right lane oncoming pedestrian detection and braking, oncoming vehicle detection to avoid pre-collision, to add to the pre-collision system, dynamic cruise control with curve speed management, which will slow you down going around a curve. So a lot of safety in here. We've put some pictures up on our Facebook page if you want to go over and check it out. But I look forward to driving the plug-in hybrid version. I think that's the one I would get. I think that's
Yeah, now this will not be inexpensive.
no. I'm sure it will not be inexpensive, and we don't have any pricing on this yet since it was just revealed last night. But certainly, it's going to be pretty cool, and it's going to be a vehicle that a lot of people will be interested in. It has some great underfloor storage, which is nice. Who doesn't want more storage?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so we'll talk more about this Lexus NX, I'm sure, in the future. Just revealed last night, so we want to get the information to you on cruise control. Coming up, we're going to tell you some pricing information on that Jeep Grand Cherokee L and the Nissan Pathfinder. So stay tuned to Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staub. He is Les Jackson. We'll be right back.
How much?
Is Les Jackson. We are glad you're along for the ride. Lot to get to, Les. We got a lot of pricing information, and a lot of our listeners love pricing information because you go into the dealer and you're prepared, and a lot of people have been getting hit with some big numbers. They maybe haven't bought a vehicle in a while, and now they're finding out that it is kind of a lot more pricey than what they remember, right?
It is, and this is very much across the board. You start wondering, well, I was kind of hoping I could buy something for less than 30,
Yeah.
Good luck.
A used Saturn. You could buy you could buy a used Saturn for that. Well, you probably won't be buying a 2021 Grand Cherokee L, which is the 3-row version of the Grand Cherokee L. You won't be buying it for less than $31,000. Remember, we had Jim Morrison on, head of the Jeep brand, telling us about this a number of months ago, and it is a super luxurious 3-row version. Now, the L will start at $36,995 plus a $1,695 destination charge.
Ooh.
That's a lot of destination, isn't it?
Ooh.
So right out the door, you're at $38,690. I doubt you'll probably see a base L anywhere at a dealership. What would you think?
Probably not. There's really not much incentive for the dealer to stock those because people end up getting, usually one tier higher.
Yeah. Well,
And by the way, for those that think that you can go to the factory and drive it home yourself to avoid the delivery, sorry.
who thought that? I mean, when's the last
Well,
time?
a lot of people think that, that can you arrange to pick it up at the factory and drive it home? No. I mean, you can arrange sometimes to pick it up at the factory, but you still have to pay the delivery.
Aren't these the same people that think, like, if I swap out the AM/FM radio for the upgraded radio, that I should get credit for the AM/FM radio
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and then have to purchase the better stereo? Well, anyway, as you said, many people will not buy the base model, but they could buy the limited trim, which is $45,690. That is the limited trim. Comes with Capri leather seats. I don't know what they are.
It's just a name.
It's just like rich Corinthian leather.
They're old leather capri pants that they've taken the seams out of and put them on the seats.
Yeah, or like Capri pants. They only come up to mid leg
Yeah.
there. So.
What is that? Like just under the knee or something? Yeah.
Heated steering wheel, standard heated seats in the first 2 rows, remote start and power tail liftgate. And if you want 4-wheel drive, you add $2,000. I would say that is actually a deal. And $3,295 for the V8. Now, next up on
That's not a deal.
That's not a deal. Next up on the Escalator of Grand Cherokee L, the Overland is $54,690 for the 4x2, $56,690. Not a bad upgrade of $2,000 for that all-wheel drive capability. Comes with Jeep Quadra Track 2 and the Overland Appearance Package. Leather seats, door panels, ventilated front seats, navigation, ambient lighting, new length-adjustable front row cushions, hands-free, foot-activated power liftgate, and dual-pane sunroof. And then, Les Jackson, we get into what you want, the Summit trim, which, as they say, is the peak of capability and luxury. Isn't that how you see yourself?
That's exactly what I was looking for.
Okay. So that will set you back $58,690. Has the drowsy driver detection system. Have you ever? I've encountered that. I was driving.
Yeah,
I had to drive for like three or 4 hours, and a big cup of coffee came up on the dashboard and said, shouldn't you really consider a break?
Oh, yeah. A number of vehicles have done that. And I've actually been in one, I think it was a Volvo, that detected drowsy. I kept testing it. I would close my eyes and lean my head down. And it took about 3 minutes before it realized my head wasn't moving.
You tested it by going to sleep at highway speeds.
Yeah, and it beeped, a buzzer and all sorts of stuff.
Now here, this also describes you. The final model is the Summit Reserve, which sets the benchmark for luxury.
That's me.
that says Les Jackson to me. Um, it will have quilted Palermo leather, open pore waxed walnut wood, ventilated second row seats, 21-inch wheels, standard premium amenities including a 900-watt stereo, 19-speaker Macintosh audio system. It was funny. So Macintosh, of course, is famous for tube amps.
They were wonderful.
I believe they still make them. I believe
They do.
They
They do.
for the warm sound. And I remember turntables too that they made. That I believe is the first time we've seen Macintosh on a vehicle. The name Macintosh on a high-end stereo system or audio system in a vehicle. Well, 63,690. All of these vehicles can be had with the V6, which is the 293 horsepower. They still calling that the Pentastar? That was many companies ago, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, all right. They used to call it the Pentastar V6. Well, that puts out 293 horsepower, or you can get the Hemi with 357 horsepower, 390 feet of torque. As this article says, there's no Trackhawk trim yet. But
Well, now you very lightly breezed over the 63,690 price.
well, that's how a salesman does it. You know,
I mean, that's a lot of chips.
it's a lot of money for sure.
It is.
I'm no debate on that.
Uh,
I can't debate you on that. It is a lot of money.
Yeah, it's just a lot of money, and I don't know. It would take quite a bit for me to justify that.
Well, maybe you'd like something a little less expensive. And as your friendly dealer, I have this. I offer this, the 2022 Nissan Pathfinder. This one's a little bit more affordable. Obviously, it's not as luxurious, but it's not a bad vehicle. I've always loved the Pathfinder, even after they made it less of a off-roader.
Me too.
Although they do show you pictures of it going through mud and things like that. That's what I would do with a brand new vehicle. Drive it through mud and pound it up to areas where I would never clean.
Yeah, mud and gravel.
Yes, don't you? Isn't that what you do when you get a brand new vehicle? You just pound it
Sure.
with gravel because
Sure. It's
make it rust as much as possible. You know.
got to test the paint.
Yeah, I got to test the paint. Well, the Pathfinder S two-wheel drive starts at $33,410, and then you would step up to the SV for $36,200, the SL for
Right.
$39,000.
Two-wheel drive, right?
Yeah, we're still in two-wheel drive. The S in four-wheel drive is $35,310. The SV is $38,100, and then the SL is $41,490. If you want all in, the Pathfinder Platinum four-wheel drive is $48,090. It is a nice-looking vehicle. They have done a lot to it to make it even nicer, including an all-new 9-speed automatic transmission. All-new intelligent four-wheel drive with the 7-position drive and terrain modes selector, and available 6,000-pound maximum towing capability. So we'll talk more about the Pathfinder when we come back on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
Hey, welcome back to Cruise Control. We are here. We're just throwing out prices at the moment that we're glad we don't have to pay.
Yeah.
But but it's not like you're being gouged. There's an awful lot that you get in a new vehicle.
Yeah, it looks like, Les, basically, when you want to get a nice crossover, you're going to start around $35,000, and then go on up from there, probably up to about 50. And you and I said earlier, people, they come to us all the time to ask, what vehicle should I buy? What's the best vehicle?
Right.
It's like saying, who's the nicest human? Can you name the nicest human? So
That's
I'll
right.
take that person as my friend. But there's sticker shock. There's a lot of sticker shock when it comes to new and even used vehicles, isn't it?
Well, there is, and actually, I'm surprised that there isn't more leasing than there is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because rather than face this kind of price myself, I think I would lease.
Well, the other thing is, too, and I read this article this week, and I agree with it completely. Normally, these opinion pieces, I'm like, yeah, no, that's not true. But the pace of the auto industry has magnified threefold or more. New models are coming out left and right, and it's almost hard for us to keep up with these things. The number of reveals, I would say there are 5 reveals a week of new or significantly refreshed vehicles. And we like to report on it to you because, if you're going out to buy a new vehicle, you might want to wait for the latest and greatest. But if you lease, that's not a problem. I have a neighbor that bought an NX a couple of weeks ago, and now there's a new model. Now, maybe a lot of people don't care about that, but I would.
Well, I would too, for 2 reasons. One, there might be something in the new model that I want. And secondly, if there's a new model and I just bought the old model, I could have probably negotiated a better price.
Yeah, that's the way I think, and say, hey, this is end of life here, basically, this model. The new one's coming in another few weeks. This will be much less valuable because it is last year's model.
Yeah.
So it's just something to think about, and it's a good reason to listen to Cruise Control because we try to bring you all the latest information. It's a good point for you to jump off and say, hey, you know what? That Pathfinder, I was thinking about buying a 2001, but now I'm going to wait for the 2022. It's not that much more money. Sometimes you might actually save money by buying the newer models. So really, you have to look at it from all angles, right?
Well, that's right. Again, you need to really do your homework before you run out.
And we're going to help you with your homework. We're like those online mentors. Let's look at that math problem.
That's right.
Now, this is a problem for Chevy that's been a problem for many people in the auto industry, and that is, of course, the semiconductor chip shortage. We told you that vehicles, less popular vehicles like the Camaro and the Malibu, the production of them has been halted, but still they don't have enough chips to build the bread and butter pickup trucks. And what Ford has done is they've kind of built the F-150s and left the chips out, and then kind of pushed them aside and said, hey, well, we have to, we'll finish those off when we get the chips. Well, GM, according to the GM Authority website, is basically just decontenting trucks. In other words, no more start-stop on certain Silverado 1500 and GMC Sierra pickup trucks. They're just not going to put it in the trucks. They will no longer have start-stop, and they're going to give customers a $50 credit on the MSRP because it doesn't have the start-stop capability. A lot of times people don't like the start-stop because it's a little rough, and they typically have a button to shut it off. But it looks like that button might not be operative because they might not be including that with the vehicle. How do you feel about that? How would you feel about that if they just didn't include it and they're like, yeah, we'll throw you $50?
Well, it wouldn't bother me um, if I were which I am, environmentally conscious. I, of course, could say, well, now, wait a minute, there is a fuel savings over
Mm-hmm.
the life of these with the start stop. But you know what? I bet that fuel savings is $50 or less.
Would you feel that, hey, I bought a new truck and I didn't get everything I bargained for, and down the line
Um,
someone's going to
no,
say, oh, this was one of the ones where they had the chip shortage, so they just left that out? And
well, no, because they've told me, they've let me know ahead of time that this won't be in it.
mm-hmm.
And here is, you know,
a little
we're
a
paying
token
you.
fee. Yeah,
Well, I don't think it's token. I think that's actually what it'll save over the lifetime.
interesting, interesting. All right.
It's not much. Let's face it. It's when it around I'm trying to remember the statistic a few years ago when the industry said if everything had start stop, it would save, I believe it was 10 million barrels of oil a year.
Okay.
But
Which is
that's,
good, but
well, it is, but that's a tiny, tiny portion of, per vehicle.
yeah. It is a sound I hear all the time, the start stop at stoplights,
Yeah.
and you kind of get used to it. So, this was one of the most interesting stories of the week. Well, I can't say that. We had a lot of reveals and that. But this was a story about how, according to car gurus, the prices of used Saturns. Remember Saturn? It was the new
I've,
brand of GM, the
yep.
dent-proof panels and all that. Well, according to car gurus, the price of used Saturns has increased by over 26% in the last 90 days. The next closest car brands with the biggest increase are Smart and Ford. And, of course, part of this is explained by the fact that all used vehicles have gone up because there's a shortage of vehicles, right?
Well, okay, where do I start?
You've been craving that Saturn L station wagon. I know you
Well,
have. Collector's
first of
edition.
all, I mentioned earlier, I haven't seen a Saturn on the road in years. You can hear them every once in a while
Yeah, they have that
because
whine.
their engines were very loud.
Yeah.
Uh, they were perfectly decent cars, especially the Aura,
Mm-hmm.
which was the, um,
Malibu.
well, yes, but it was also the British,
Opal.
what the heck
It was an
that?
Opal, I think. But
Opal, yes.
but
Uh,
you know, the brand always. There was a weird thing about the brand. When you bought one of those vehicles and you signed the papers, they would all come around you and cheer.
yeah.
I have a friend that bought
Fixed
two of them.
price.
And I thought, that's really weird. Why are you doing this? Go back to your
Yeah.
desks.
The only thing that surprises me more than the Saturn is the smart car,
Oh, yeah.
which really, uh, it, it's not a dreadful car, but it really doesn't have much going for it.
It falls into, as I call it, the better than walking car.
That's perfect. That's
Like,
perfect.
like if you were somewhere in the middle of nowhere and you're 10
Hmm.
miles away from everything, let's say, and you were hungry, it would be better to have a smart car than walk 10 miles.
Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, now the used cars in general, I think have gone up this year.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Maybe 20%, 15%?
Maybe. And I've also had people contact me and say, hey, I'm looking for a great used car. And I said, well, Carvana is selling a used premium car every 2.5 minutes. I said, the demand is
Wow.
huge, so you're going to pay a lot more. I'm wondering if those high prices will stick around even after the demand changes. It just
I don't
becomes,
think they will.
yeah. So if you can hold off If you can
Yeah.
hold off buying now, and as someone said, if you have a used car that you're not using, especially a pickup truck, and it's just sitting there, you can sell it and make some big coin.
You're tempting me.
All right. Hey, let's get to our talking tech segment, and this might have to go over a little into your review, so I will be quick with this. But it's
That's okay.
good news. OnStar, you and I have reported about it. Now it's going to be available to everyone, the OnStar Guardian app. When we come back on Cruise Control, we will tell you about this and how you can get it and what it will cost you. Might be a great thing for your family to have. So we'll talk about that and more on Cruise Control. Les is going to have a review of the Toyota Supra, too, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. We're here, and we were talking just before the break about OnStar being available for you.
Yeah.
No matter what you drive, as long as you have a smartphone.
Yeah, as long as you have a smartphone. It's called the OnStar Guardian app. Anyone in U.S. and Canada, Les Jackson, can get it. And it can protect up to 7 people in a family for $15 a month. That's not bad at all.
That's a good deal for a group of people.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful system. If you're not familiar with OnStar, it's literally like having an EMS truck in your car with you.
Which would be kind of crowded.
It would be crowded, but it's really you've got this cloud in the sky watching you.
Mm-hmm.
It knows if you've crashed.
Mm-hmm.
It knows to call the EMS services right away, even before you may not be conscious.
Yeah. It can get you help with charging a battery, changing a flat tire, getting fuel delivered, and it sounds good. It really does.
And what it won't do, unless you have a GM car, is it won't unlock your door for you.
No, that would be, I guess, a little difficult. But you know what? With the new Android operating system, and that's going to be the key for your vehicle, it might potentially do that in the future. So it's a 30-day free trial. After that, a monthly subscription cost of $15 a month. My question is, do they tie into roadside service, and can you get that discount? It's sort of like a some of the different car clubs have, where if you have a problem with your car, you get a tow truck there.
Or some insurance carriers offer that.
Yeah. So I look forward to finding out more about this. Oh, and they give you a free Apple Watch if you sign up, Les Jackson. So
hey, wow.
so there you go. We'll talk about that and more. But you now have a review of a vehicle that is quite sporty, Les Jackson. It's an review on Cruise Control of the Toyota Supra, right?
Yes, the Toyota GR Supra in Renaissance Red. Now, picture you're showing is kind of a maroon.
Mm-hmm.
Renaissance Red is, oh boy, is that red! Which fits for a sports car. Everybody where in my complex where we live, when I went to the store, everybody noticed it.
Yeah, you don't buy this to hide, do you?
No. This is something you want to be seen in. And I guess auto enthusiasts know that it's basically a BMW Z4 underpinnings,
which is a great vehicle, by the way. I
drove
one of those last summer, and it was one of my favorite. I didn't want to give it back.
Well, Toyota has made it their own. It's Toyota interior, Toyota exterior, Toyota suspension. Everything is calibrated to be Toyota-ish and not BMW. Even the control pad inside is a disguised version of the iDrive.
That's interesting.
It's interesting.
Like what they would call a white label version of it, where they just
yes, very good.
Yeah.
This particular one was powered by the 2-liter Turbo 4, as opposed to the 3-liter inline 6. So this had 255 horsepower versus the 385. It's claimed that it does 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. I put it on launch control. Anyway, in a place where I could go 60.
Okay.
And
in a safe location, a safe,
yeah, and
undisclosed
just
location.
looked at my watch and very crude. It just didn't seem. It did actually do it. It just didn't seem like it was going fast,
Hmm.
or accelerating fast. There's just a feel there. However, you do feel the ride because this is sitting on 40 series tires, which are very speed rated, very hard. Boy, just tough tires. They're Michelin pilots. And with the exception of smooth roads, you feel everything.
Okay. Now,
It's a shaky, it's a real sports car.
yeah, yeah, interesting. I thought the Z4 drove. It was one of the best vehicles. I had the straight six version of it.
Yep.
So these are the same powertrains from BMW.
Right, right. It's they're built right next to each other on the assembly line. But Toyota's doing it their way.
Interesting.
And remember the old Supras were pretty rough riding.
The one thing I find weird about the Toyota style is in the back. I'm not a big fan of that kind of the way the back is pinched together and it has that spoiler. I like the front of the vehicle. I like the styling of the front of the vehicle. It's aggressive. There's a lot of great airflow. But the back, I'm just not a fan of the styling. It just looks weird. That's that spoiler that comes out of the deck lid.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but it just looks a little bit too busy.
Looks busy, and I think it makes the back of the vehicle look narrow. Now, I do like the side view. I like the bulges for the rear wheels, and I'm a fan, as you know, of long hood, short rear deck sport
Same
cars.
here. Same here.
I think that makes it look like it's leaping, and that's to me the way a sports car should look, as opposed to
Sure.
somebody leaning forward on a sports bike.
That's right. Getting into it, honestly, is a bit of a gymnastics. That's a very, very low roof line,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got to really bend your head over to get in. And once you're in, it's pretty comfortable.
Right.
A lot of visibility out. I will say you expect limited rear visibility, but it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So, they've done a good job there. All of the trim inside is high quality, Alcantara,
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of safety features. This has the safety technology package, which is $3,500.
Okay. What is
And
that?
it's everything, dynamic radar cruise control, parking sensors, cross traffic alert, 9-inch touch screen, navigation, 12 speaker stereo, which is a bit much for that space.
Yeah, it covers every part of you.
Yep. Apple CarPlay, but not Android Auto.
Which is kind of a throwback to BMW.
Yeah.
They've kind
Yeah.
of changed that a little bit. We'll talk about that next hour. It's something that just comes with vehicles now. You can't charge more for it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It does have real-time traffic information, concierge service. It's pretty good. You can't knock it. I mean, it's a real serious high-end sports car without quite the high-end money. It's actually the base price is $42,990. Adding the safety technology package brings it to $47,615 with delivery. So you could spend more to get the same thing, and if you like the looks, it's a great way to go. And it's Toyota backs it, 60,000 mile warranty on the drivetrain.
All right. Well, that's great, Les. We appreciate that review. We'll see you down the road on Cruise Control.
Bye. So Klaus is German for.
Hello, everyone. It's Fred Staub and Les Jackson. We're just teasing what's coming up on Cruise Control. We're going to have reveals and refreshes, Les Jackson. Reveals and refreshes, that is the theme of this hour, including the Jaguar I-Pace, BMW's 4 Series Grand Coupe. I don't get why they call these things coupes. They have 4 doors. Look, 4 doors.
Well,
it looks like a sedan to me, doesn't it?
It looks like a sedan to me.
Yeah, they call it a coupe, though, I guess because it has a fancy fastback style. I don't know.
You realize that if all of these reveals that are going on right now were in-person reveals, we'd be on airplanes 24 hours a day.
Yeah, that's right. We would. We wouldn't be able. We have to divide and conquer to cover all these things.
Yeah.
We're also going to talk about Chevy cancels the 2021 allocations for the C8 Corvette, but adds a special edition. We'll tell you about that special edition.
Wow, it's like 1984.
Yeah,
Remember
exactly.
when they just didn't build any Corvettes?
Yeah. And then you might know this guy, Ant Anstead. He, of course, is from Wheeler Dealers, formerly does a lot of great television shows. He's going to take on Pikes Peak in an Acura. We'll tell you about that.
I like Ant.
Yeah, he's the real deal. He's a real guy that can build stuff. And then we're going to talk about Ford's entry-level vehicle under $20,000. It is not a sedan. It is a pickup. And it is bringing back a name that you and I know from the past, the Ford Maverick. They're calling it the pickup truck you didn't know you would need. But we're going to talk about that on Cruise Control.
This is Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staub and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
And welcome, Les Jackson. Go for it.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. If you're interested in vehicles, you have come to the right place because we're here every single week talking about what's happened in the auto industry and what's happening. And boy, oh boy, are things happening right now.
I think, Les, we should change the name of this show from Cruise Control to just Reveals and Refreshes. What do you think about that?
There you go. Yeah. Although people would think maybe it's a cosmetics show.
Might be popular.
Until they looked at me, in which case they'd realize it's a car show.
Well, we're going to start with an updated Jaguar I-Pace. Tell you how they've updated that.
Yep.
BMW's 4 Series Grand Coupe. That's a trend, calling sedans coupes. I don't get it, but we'll tell you about that vehicle.
I guess they just don't want to use sedan like station wagon.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then we're going to tell you about their X3 and X4 crossovers. They're now called sport activity vehicles.
Well, they're not really, I don't know, utility. That's what they are. They're utility.
For active lifestyle people that own kayaks.
Okay. Well, all right. See, I don't own a kayak. I don't have a surfboard or a kayak. Bad news at Corvette. Chevy just canceled the 2021 allocations for the C8. So if you want one, sorry.
Wait till 2022.
Wait until 22 and you'll get a special edition.
Yeah. Well, you might not get the special edition, but one is being offered, and we'll talk about that. And then former Wheeler dealer Ant Anstead takes on Pikes Peak in an Acura. We know Ant from his great show Wheeler Dealer, right?
Yeah, I always enjoy watching him. He's just so informative and so engaging.
You notice, too, he doesn't have the weird haircut and tons of tattoos that the
That's
shows
right.
think you need.
And the strange beard.
Yeah.
Just like a normal guy.
Yeah, he looks like a normal guy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you want to talk about the big deal at Ford?
Yeah, of course, Ford has been switching over to trucks and crossovers. Now the entry-level price vehicle is a pickup truck. It is the Maverick compact pickup truck. Big news this week. Klaus Paulo de Mello, who is the Maverick vehicle engineering manager, will be our guest to tell us about this. This starts under $20,000. There's a hybrid model. There's an all-wheel drive model. So this is exciting stuff, and we are going to talk about this Maverick, the pickup truck that you didn't know you needed, basically. When we come back.
I'll tell you, this is really this is quite interesting.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we come back on Cruise Control.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staub. He is Les Jackson. We have decided to rename the show Reveals and Refreshes because there's so much going on in the auto industry this week that, well, we just have to keep you up to date because that's what we do, isn't it, Les Jackson?
Well, that's right. Plus, we have to keep up to date.
Yeah, and we like to drive as many of these vehicles as we can and bring you the information as it comes out. Like I said last hour, I was up late seeing the new Lexus NX reveal. But we have some major news from Jaguar. Jaguar, of course, most of the news has been kind of negative lately. Models being discontinued and designers leaving. But here's some good information. Jaguar has updated its I-Pace, all-electric I-Pace. It's a performance SUV, new infotainment, and more driver-focused technology for the 2022 model year. Standard will be Jaguar's latest PIVI Pro dual SIM infotainment system and Meridian 3D sound system. There'll be enhanced software over-the-air capability, faster charging enabled with an 11 kilowatt AC onboard charger, driver assistance technology, a new 3D surround camera, and clear sight rear view digital mirror. I like the digital mirrors. You know, you sometimes can't even tell that they are a camera, and it's one of those other cases where there's technology that basically you could not even realize it's there, right?
That's right. It's this is the way it ought to be, where it's just transparent.
Yeah, and
you don't realize what it is.
Yeah, you don't realize what it is, and it. The good thing about that is if you have a lot of stuff in the back of your vehicle piled up, or some really tall people, or even the head restraints up, you won't see them because this is a camera. Also, less glare, better nighttime viewing. So good on Jaguar for doing this. They also have an occupant experience enhanced cabin air ionization with PM 2.5 filtration. That's what I use in my masks.
Absolutely. Actually, that's pretty good. When you can ionize the air, sort of bring in ozone, and have this HEPA filter, you're going to get really clean air inside the car.
Yeah, exactly. And the exclusive top-of-the-range HSE trim, that's going to start at $69,900. So,
again, it's not an economy car.
No, but it has great horsepower. 394 horsepower, 512 feet of torque. That is in the top-of-the-range model. 0 to 60 in just 4.5 seconds. What do I say about electric cars? You will not be able to match their performance with an internal combustion car. So that's one of the things that I think, will change a lot of people over once they start driving. Good elite care from Jaguar, too. 8-year, 100,000-mile battery warranty, 5-year, 60,000-mile new vehicle limited warranty, 5-year, 60,000-mile complimentary scheduled maintenance, and then 24/7 road assistance for 5 years, and unlimited Jaguar In-Control remote and protect connected server for 5 years. Not bad coverage. Not bad coverage on that.
It's not bad. As an aside, you and I both love the Genesis G80, G90.
Sure.
And I can't say anything bad about it, but I was reading the literature on it before I turned it in last week. And even though the maintenance is complimentary, you have to bring it to the dealer every 5,000 miles.
Wow.
And
if
that's
you don't,
often.
If you don't, what happens? You lose your warranty?
No, but I think all sorts of warnings go up. It needs to be serviced, mostly electronically, but other things need to be checked every 5,000 miles. That's like the 60s when you had to go in and get the oil changed every 3.
And the points
and get the brakes adjusted. Get the points adjusted.
Yeah,
that's just a lot of visits.
Yeah, it sure is. And while you're there, they wouldn't mind if you bought another one too. But
well, they wouldn't. No.
Hey, when we come back on Cruise Control, we will talk about the BMW 4 Series Grand Coupe that doesn't really look like a coupe, and the X3 and X 2024 crossovers, sport activity vehicles. So all that's coming up on Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staub. He is Les Jackson. We will see you after the break.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. Reveals and Refreshes edition, right, Les Jackson?
Yes, indeed.
Well, let's talk about what's going on at BMW, shall we?
There's lots going on, starting with their 4 Series Grand Coupe, which I call a 4-door sedan.
Yeah, it's the second generation of it. Why do they call it a coupe? I don't get it. It looks like a sedan to me.
Well, it's not a coupe that we grew up with. A coupe was 2 doors, and that was it.
Yeah, 2 doors, and that was it. And that's what the ones the cool people like you and I drove, right?
Yeah, but that's it. It looks coupe-ish.
If you stand on one foot and close one eye, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It has 255 horsepower. It's the 430i Grand Coupe. And the M version, 440i X-Drive Grand Coupe, gets 382 horsepower. MSRP for the 430i Grand Coupe, $44,800. MSRP for the M version, $58,000, plus $995 destination. It is 5.9 inches longer and 1 inch wider and 2.1 inches taller than its predecessor. And the tracks have grown by 1.6 inches in the front and 0.7 inches in the rear. And the wheelbase is 1.8 inches longer than before. So obviously a brand new vehicle. You can't just refresh it and
Yep. Couldn't make those mods on an existing one.
No. I mean, unless you were just had the torch out and were cutting away at stuff. It has a lot of technology in it. Of course, it has the inline 6-cylinder engine that has been so popular, an 8-speed Steptronic transmission. This is something we've been seeing a lot more of it. They call it a lift-related shock absorber, which is improving the damping control of the body movement over large bumps. You and I have been seeing this a lot on vehicles, haven't we?
That is true, yeah.
So that is a bit of technology that is coming in. Personalized light moods and audio experience. So you got that. And that's not the only new vehicle that they released or refreshed vehicle. They also, if you're in the mood for a little sport activity, and who isn't, they've updated the X3 and the X4 sports activity vehicles. Are they calling them coupes too? Sport activity coupe. Is everything a coupe in their lineup? This is a crossover.
Apparently, yeah. Well, what is exactly? You know what? While you're talking, I'm going to look up the actual definition of a coupe.
Well, I'll tell you about the X3 exterior upgrades. Redesigned kidney grille, headlights, front and rear bumpers, exhaust trim and rear lights, standard full LED headlights, of course. We want those to get the great rating, Insurance Institute for Highway Safety rating. There's new vertical air intakes arranged in a triangular design to get that fresh air into that 6-cylinder engine. And then, of course, you can get the M Sport package for the X3 S-Drive 30i and X-Drive X330 S-Drive 30i and X-Drive 30i. Of course, that's all that. The paint finishes, they're going to have 2 non-metallic finishes, Alpine White and Black, and Brooklyn Gray Metallic. There's a kind of a trend that there's going to be more color choices available on vehicles, which I think is good.
Yeah, that's right. By the way, you and I are correct about coupe.
Mm-hmm.
BMW is sadly misinformed. The official definition of a coupe is a passenger car with a sloping or truncated rear roofline and 2 doors.
Yeah.
The term coupe was first applied to horse-drawn carriages for 2 passengers without rear-facing seats.
So that's not a coupe.
Not a coupe. Sorry. I'm sorry, BMW.
Yeah.
It's not a coupe.
They also are going to offer a 48-volt mild hybrid system for the 6-cylinder models with a 48-volt starter generator and an additional battery, and that will improve not only mileage, but it gives an additional 11 horsepower.
That's quite a bit.
Now, I wonder if that offsets the weight that is involved with putting on a battery and the associated gear. What do you think?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, there you have it. Let's move over to Chevrolet, and they have canceled the allocations for 2021 Corvette. So if you ordered one, you're going to be getting a 2022 model, which will have different direct injection on the engine. Not a horsepower gain, but it will have improved emissions but not lose any horsepower. So that's good news, but you will be waiting some more. The vehicle gets improved a lot, so it's not the worst thing in the world unless you had somewhere a big trip planned. Maybe, though, you might order the Corvette C8 IMSA GTLM 2020 Special 2022 Special Edition. This is going to have a high wing and carbon flash, yellow brake calipers, black Trident design wheels with the Jake logo, exterior mirrors and carbon flash, and black side rockers and splash guards. They did an event at the Belle Island Grand Prix where they brought the new car out along with the C8Rs and showed them off. You better like yellow with silver stripes on it.
A lot of yellow there. A lot of yellow.
A lot of yellow. So that is a special edition. Then we should talk about someone who we think is pretty good at what he does. It is Ant Anstead. He is going to be pacing the Pikes Peak climb in this cool-looking Acura Type S, which I think is a pretty neat deal. Of course, he has started or revived a niche automaker called Radford Motors. We should talk more about that. And he is formerly of Wheeler Dealers, which is a great show where they take an interesting car, kind of fix it up and flip it, right?
That's right. And what's good about the show is that Ant takes you through all of the components that he's having to fix. He diagnoses them, replaces them. If you want to learn how a car works, it's a really good show.
Yeah, it is a great show, and he takes you through it step by step in the logical process. And so he's going to be driving Pikes Peak. You ever thought about driving Pikes Peak? If you mess up on Pikes Peak,
I almost did back in the '60s, but
with the Falcon,
couldn't make it. It was actually, yes, not in mine, but I had a chance to take a '64 Falcon up it, but couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And back then, a lot of the road was dirt.
Yeah, and if you go off the track, it's not that you hit a Jersey barrier and you stop.
No, it would be a very, very exciting one-way trip.
Yeah, with a lot of spinning, a lot of rolling, and
a lot of rolling, a lot of never regaining consciousness.
Yeah, it is not something to be taken lightly. So, anyway, that's pretty cool for Ant, and I'm sure we'll be talking more about Radford Motors in the future. Coming up next, though, we're going to talk about the Ford Maverick. The return of the Ford Maverick, definitely a different vehicle than what we remember it. This is, believe it or not, the entry-level vehicle price-wise for Ford, but it certainly has a lot to talk about. And for that, we're going to talk to Klaus Paulo de Mello, who is the Maverick Vehicle Engineering Manager, and he's going to join us after the break. So stay tuned to Cruise Control. We will be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine, reveals and refreshes. Les, we've been talking about a lot of new vehicles, and one of the most exciting vehicles this week is none other than the return of the Ford Maverick. We wanted to know more about it because there's a lot to talk about, and so we figured why not get Klaus Paulo de Mello, the Maverick Vehicle Engineering Manager, to join us. Klaus, we appreciate it. You must have had a busy week, I would imagine.
Certainly, absolutely. But it was fun. Very rewarding, I would say.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting here is the Maverick is the price leader for Ford. This is the least expensive Ford vehicle, I believe, but it is a pickup truck, and that is unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's not only that. It's also the cheapest hybrid in America currently. So we are really proud of this achievement.
Yeah. Well,
I'm curious to know how you did this. I mean, this is clearly a Ford truck, which automatically has to be a really, really good truck because you got a heck of a reputation that you have to live up with. But then a hybrid drivetrain and pull it in for less than $20,000. This dealers must be sending you flowers and candy.
Yeah, I can say that the initial response has been great, and I think that we have an unbeatable value proposition with this product. And you are right, Les. It is a built for tough truck that has all our truck proof points on it on a compact size. And I guess that related to the how we did it, how we managed to get to this price point, it's actually we leverage a lot of our commonality with the C2 platform, the C2 architecture, and that we produce thousands of these components, and reuse them was a key enabler to get to this price point.
Yeah, we just should state it again because it is pretty amazing, and if people have missed it, of course, the Ford Maverick, 40 miles per gallon city, standard hybrid, seats 5, under $20,000, and it's got a lot of great features too, a lot of great safety features, a lot of great comfort features on the inside. Let's first talk about, since it is a pickup truck, the Maverick Flex Bed. What is that about, Klaus?
Well, it's a concept that we came up with in order to really maximize the versatility of the bed usage, right? We have a 4.5 foot bed. It's relatively compact, but we would like to enable the customers to use that for a variety of use cases, right? So if you have to carry sheet goods, for instance. So we develop a multi-position tailgate that can support 4x8s easily and on its intermediate position, right? The other interesting features are this slots that we put on the truck bed, both vertical and horizontal, where customers can build their own solutions with plywood or 2x6 or 2x4 boards, right? They just cut in length and then position those slots. So you have with that, a simple bed divider or a false load floor, which is really neat. The other interesting feature is a pre-wire for 12-volt solutions. Like a common truck owner's project, it's to add bed lights, right? Like LED strips.
Sure.
And we have pre-wired those 12 volts. It's an independent circuit with it's fused to 20 amps. So customers can just fish that connector and install those solutions. Could be again bed lights or chargers or anything. So that enables the customer to do that on an easy way, on a safe way, to support many use cases, either for leisure or for work.
Wow! And you have 110 volt outlets back there.
That's right. We have an inverter, so customers can use that to charge their tools or their e-bikes or support a tailgating party, whatever.
So I guess the idea here is it's sort of the pickup truck for people that never thought they would need a pickup truck. Obviously, Ford makes some great pickup trucks, F-150 and the Ranger, and a lot of times those are dyed and wool truck people. But this might be bought by someone that thought, hey, I never thought about a pickup truck, but it is great for not only handling wood and projects like that, but bicycles and activity stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the right size truck for many users out there, we are sure. And some people, at this price point, they may be considering an SUV or a sedan, and now they have a pickup truck option as well. That's compact, it's practical enough for weekly commutes, and it can support any weekend projects for leisure or for work. So it's a very interesting value proposition, and we are happy to bring this to the market right now.
We ought to talk about the fuel economy because it's unbelievable. Is this the first truck ever that gets 40 miles to the gallon?
We believe so, Les. We are finalizing our homologation tests. We are targeting 40 miles per gallon. We are confident that we get there. And it is the most efficient truck in the market today. So it's, again, that's enabled by the hybrid powertrain. It was one of the decisions that we made since the beginning of the project to offer this unbeatable value, right? How we bring more customers and to this truck, and how we add more value. And the hybrid powertrain was one of the key aspects of it. And in the fuel economy, I believe that makes this product really enticing for many customers now at this price point.
And people may say, well, it gets great fuel economy, but what kind of work can it do? 1,500 pounds of payload capability. That's equal to 37 bags of 40-pound mulch, which would be quite a weekend workout, I would think.
That's more than I want to do on a weekend.
Yeah.
2,000 pounds of towing with the standard hybrid, which is pretty amazing. And then we should talk about, you do have an optional engine, too, the 2-liter EcoBoost engine that can up the towing up to 4,000 pounds, which I know in some of your footage, you show it towing a small travel trailer, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, for those customers that want more capabilities, particularly on towing, and also all-wheel drive, we offer this step-up powertrain, right? The 2-liter GTI. It's a well-known engine, very robust, very capable, and it suits the truck really well. And adds this capability. And on this package, we included also integrated trailer brake controller, which I believe customers will really appreciate that too. Makes the trailing operation much easier. You don't need to purchase, kind of aftermarket trail brake controller. It's fully integrated in the vehicle instrument panel, and it's easy to use. So again, some of those customers that have never, towed anything before, it will find it really easy.
Yeah, it's great. It's all integrated in. You don't have to get out and start drilling into your new truck or anything like that. We're talking to Klaus Paulo de Mello, who is the Maverick Vehicle Engineering Manager. Big news from Ford, the Maverick returns. Do you remember the original Maverick, Klaus?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes, it's a famous car back home. I'm originally from Brazil, and in Brazil it's actually a cult car down there. It's very, very, yeah, it is, and it's very expensive, to find one in nowadays. But yeah, some people remember here in the U.S., but it's not as famous as it is back home.
Our engineer who is taking care of the show had one, and he put a 351 Cleveland in it. So
awesome.
That is the old days hot rodding, but yeah, pretty cool. This is amazing. I mean, it is a unibody design, but we told you about what it can do and what it can haul. And there have been other trucks like this from other manufacturers, but they were less capable, I would think.
Yeah, I think again one of the elements of the project were, was we need to offer this capability, right? It's not compact size. So we really make sure that we had reach those numbers, like the 1,500 pounds. It was also kind of a pride point for us. So all the development was around that number. So the suspension development, the brakes development, the body construction, body structure construction. So, and all of that payload, actually, you can put in the bed. It's not like the bed is limited to, a smaller number. It's all that number can be in the bed. So, of course, if you discount the driver, but that's I would say another proof point about the truck capability, which we are really happy with.
All right, well, we're going to stay talking about the Ford Maverick with Klaus when we come back on Cruise Control. Plenty more to get to. We'll take you on the inside, talk about some of the features in there, some of the safety features, and more. So stay tuned to Cruise Control. Plenty more coming up on the Ford Maverick.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. We've been talking about a great new truck from Ford that was just released this week, the Ford Maverick. It's a name that some people remember. And Klaus Paulo de Mello, who is the Maverick Vehicle Engineering Manager, has been with us, and it continues to be with us. We should ask, all-wheel drive, is it available on both the hybrid and the 2-liter EcoBoost, or just the 2-liter EcoBoost?
The all drive is only available on the 2-liter EcoBoost, right? We want maximize the capability, off-road capability of the truck. So we decided to offer that on our step-up, more powerful option, right? And I would say the all-drive hybrid is within the capability of the architecture. If we identify suitable demand for development that variant, we may do that in the future as well. But right now we are offering just the all-drive as part of the 2-liter turbo.
Makes sense. Now, getting to the inside, and I'm anxious to sit in one of these. That's a hint. But I'm sure I'm not the. That's right.
We will.
You've got, you're not skimping on the interior. If people think this is a basic rubber floor mat, no instruments truck, they're going to be able to surprise, because you're just not doing that.
Yeah, at this price point, we are bringing a lot of content, right? Some people may think that, well, to enable that, we cut a lot of corners, like offer manual windows or things like that. Not at all. Yeah, it is I would say a well-equipped entry-level truck. It has an 18-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It offers the Ford Copilot 360 with automatic emergency brakes. Comes standard with the hybrid, as we mentioned, right? And with all of this capability, right? So you mentioned the interior, right? From the exterior, the vehicle has the iconic truck shape, right? So that we love. But the interior also has the truck design elements there. So you see a more square lines. And all of those built for tough design elements as part of that, and the studio team did a great job integrating all of these truck elements there, and also maximizing the roominess of the interior, right? So if it is really similar to the mid-size pickup trucks we have out there, so it's surprisingly roomy inside. Looking at the compact size of the truck, so we can comfortably accommodate 5 adults, right? Even though the seat back angle, right, on the rear row, it's quite good too. So it's not like you're really compromising comfort in order to enable this truck, or compromising comfort from the features, right, to achieve this price point. So we have a smart storage solutions as well. We have a large under the rear seat bin that can accommodate a volleyball. So very smart door trim panels that can accommodate large water bottles, laptops, and support many customer use cases. So the interior is really awesome, as the exterior, I would say.
And you were saying how it will be familiar to people in many ways, and even the trim levels, the XL, the XLT, the Lariat, and the FX4, these should be pretty familiar to anyone that's looked into buying a Ford pickup truck in the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's correct. This will make I think much easier to the customers that are already used with those differentiation, right? The trim series, to make their decisions, right?
One thing that I noticed that you just wouldn't expect in a vehicle period that lists for $19,995. You can even have it even offers the ability to start and check battery and fuel level from your phone.
That's right.
You kind of associate that with very high-end vehicles presently. I know that it's going to become more popular. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that this is going to really surprise many customers that are not used with all of this content at this price point, right? So people are out there, looking for sedans or used vehicles, right? Now they have a very interesting option to look at with modern features. It's comes with warranty, of course. No, it's not like a used vehicle, so it becomes really attractive, I would say.
Yeah, we should say also too, it has great safety features. We should talk about that a little bit, which makes sense when you're buying a new vehicle. That's one of the best reasons to buy a new vehicle, because you get all that safety.
Yeah, we are really aiming for high scores for both the public domain agencies and, of course, the government domain agencies, right? So we don't have the official results yet, but we are aiming for that. We designed the truck for that. Again, we have many driver assistant features too as an options, right? Like adaptive cruise control is there. I mentioned that the automatic emergency brakes are standard. We have a rear view camera. We have the Bliss, right? Again, we didn't cut corners at all to develop this product. So it is really safe. It is capable. It is versatile. We are checking all the boxes with it.
We are talking about. Go ahead, Les.
I just have a feeling I'm going to see a commercial for this thing pretty soon, showing the kid going off to college in it, because I just have a feeling a lot of parents are going to buy these for that.
Yeah, we got many feedback from our internal Ford colleagues, right, saying exactly the same. Les, they mentioned that, well, this is ideal vehicle for my kids. We envisioned a lot of them on the college parking lots for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll spin it to an even different use. What about companies that want that? Let's say they're a plumber or something. They work in the city, and they want something small. They want something that's efficient with a hybrid drivetrain. So this could be good for that as well. Different market than what Les was talking about, but I think it's also a good use of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We see that as well, right? I think the efficiency of the hybrid will make this vehicle really attractive to those fleet customers or the contractors. They need a vehicle, reliable truck for work. In a compact size, they not necessarily need a mid-sized truck. Well, for those that need, we have for sure a Ranger, the F-150, the Super Duty, right? But we believe that this is the right size for many users out there. So
and they're all crew cabs, right? They're all crew cabs and all with a 4.5 foot bed. So yeah, there's no variation on that. But that's basically you get a sedan up front, if I can use the term sedan anymore, and or a nice cab up front that can hold 5, and a bed in the back that can hold a lot more. You talked, we're quickly running out of time, Klaus, but you talked there's going to be a lot of accessories from Ford available for the Ford Maverick.
Yes, we worked with our vehicle personalization team, and there will be a complete suite of accessories for those customers that want to purchase, and they can order that as part of the purchasing process in our website. So I would encourage the customers to visit the Ford.com and play with the different Maverick configurations. There is a very nice colorizer. You can choose the color. You can play with the trim levels. So it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate it, Klaus Paulo de Mello, Maverick Vehicle Engineering Manager. Excited to drive the vehicle. Thank you for your time. Time for me to say I'm Fred Staub.
I'm Les Jackson.
We're going to see you down the road.
Bye.
Bye.